Hello, I'm Tom Scholey and I want to talk to you today about the Octbox D36 system. Now this is something I've been using for about 4 years now, and I've got to say I believe it to be one of the very best seatbox systems on the market. And there's a number of key reasons for that. First of all, versatility. This box combines a platform, a barrow and one of the most stable seatbox systems you could wish for. It allows you to get all your kit set up around you, so you're fully prepared, and in a match situation you've got everything you need to do the damage. Now the end of 2018 has seen the release of the new D36 system, and there's a few key improvements that I want to run you through. But first, let me just tell you what I like about the D36 system based on the last 3 years. So the first thing and most important thing for me with any seatbox is stability, and this system is really stable. To talk briefly about the seatbox itself for a second, the first thing I like is obviously the 36mm legs. That thicker metal does make you feel more stable when sat on it than, say, a thinner D25 leg would, just due to the lack of movement in the metal, especially when you've got the legs extended. Secondly, the mud feet. Now these are quite a unique design, and this hasn't changed since the last model of the Octbox, but you'll notice a keen spike on the bottom of the foot and then a plastic mud foot above that. And what that allows you to do is dig in, say you're on a sloping bank on a river or anything like that, that metal foot digs into the bank and the plastic lip above it just stops it from sinking. It's a really innovative design. It does make you feel really stable when you're sat on the box. I can't go past stability without mentioning the Outrigger system, which basically takes the place of a platform. Now if you're like me, I hate heights, I hate anything where I've got to be balanced on anything. I was terrible at PE at school, especially gymnastics, so I don't want to do it on the bank side. I want to be sat dead stable. And the Outrigger system allows you to get about as stable as you can on any seat box in a number of situations. And I'll just explain how it works. It plugs in to the footplate legs, you can see here on the front of the box. You simply remove the feet and the Outrigger slots in there, and then there are two longer legs that go either side. On top of that, there's extending legs that plug into the 4 legs that are underneath the box itself. So in effect, you've got a bar on the front of your box with 2 long extending legs that can go to around about 5 foot, and obviously your legs on your box itself, they'll go to sort of 2.5 foot. So I mean, really, you're not going to want to wade in much more than 2.5, 3 foot of water unless you're 8 foot tall. And I've done it with this box, with the Outrigger system, and you feel dead stable. And the reason for that is there's no platform. There's no other structure underneath the seat box. The whole thing is integrated. 36mm legs, very strong, and when tightened up, you feel like you're going nowhere and you can fish with confidence. Some of you may have seen the TV commercial that's been on BT Sports and other channels lately, showing just how strong the side tray is on the D25 model. Well, it's the same technology that's used in the D36. The clamps on this box really are fantastic, as is the build quality, which means, you know, you literally are going nowhere when you sat on it. You only have to tighten these bolts up with a simple turn of the hand. You don't have to really grip them too tight. I know Rick from Octbox used to tell me off when I first got the system. I was always over tightening things. Not that that does any harm, but there's just no need with this box. Nice sort of, you know, soft grip, get it as tight as you want it, but there's no need to over tighten. Once you've done it securely, it's going nowhere, which is great. So I think that is the stability aspect of the box covered. One other thing I just want to mention is the trolley system. This is great because it means you don't have to bring a separate trolley with you, which saves you a lot of space in your vehicle. All you need, other than the seat box frame itself, is the 2 handles that plug into the back of the seat box and the wheel kit that goes on the front. So a lot of space saved compared to, you know, the majority of the trolley systems that are out there on the market. And all you do is you plug the handles into the back of the Octbox and the wheel kit into the front. Now, there's a number of configurations that you can do with the wheel kit. You can have 2 wheels out to either side, so it's in effect got two wheels on the axle and you push it, or my favourite way of doing it for all terrain is to have a single wheel system, although with the latest design of the Octbox, this is actually 2 wheels that push together and working in effect as one. And I find that great for getting over all kinds of rough terrain really. The fact that you're only pushing 1 wheel through it means that you can often get through a lot easier than anglers who've got 2, 3, 4 wheel systems. It's a great piece of kit, it served me very well, and I can thoroughly recommend it. And now on to the third aspect that I want to talk about, adaptability. What the Octbox allows you to do is get set up on your peg in a very, very organised manner. Now the biggest criticism of this seat box, and I don't mind discussing this or saying this because I think it's actually a positive. People often say it looks like a Meccano set because there's that many bits you can plug on, take off. The good thing about that is that it allows you to adapt it to how you want to fish and use the features that will help you catch more on a given day. To support that point, I just want to bring up a couple of other anglers who use the Octbox. Look at, for example, how Nick Speed uses the box. Now Nick, although a fantastic natural venue angler, predominantly fishes commercial fisheries. And for that reason, he has his Octbox stripped right back to the bare bones. And that system works very well for him. Compare that to Hadrian Whittle. By contrast, Hadrian is one of the best anglers on the River Wye, a fantastic natural venue angler. And the fact that he's able to sit out in the river and use the Octbox with the Outrigger system and get organised in that way is a massive advantage to him. But obviously, that'd probably be overkill to your average commercial angler. So it does give you that supreme adaptability. Such as myself, I like to do a little bit of everything, a little bit of river fishing, a little bit of commercial fishing, and I do need the ability to do everything, but obviously I don't need everything with me on a given day. Now, while we're on the subject of adaptability, I just want to run you through a few key changes that have been made to this latest model of Octbox that I'm sat on here today, and how they'll allow you to be even more versatile on the bank. First up, we've got the side tray. Now, it's worth mentioning you can set this at any height, and this is something that hasn't changed for the last couple of editions of the Octbox. We've got these posts here. These are height adaptable, so if you want your side tray up here, you can do it. So extend these posts to the maximum and you can have it very high. And it is worth taking your time to do that, because if, for example, you're shallow fishing, you don't want to be reaching down for your bait. You want everything to hand so you can catapult easily while holding the pole. However, if you want it lower, if you're a bit taller or whatever, and you want it out of the way, just drop them posts down and you can have it probably about 4 inches lower than the actual height of the box. So you've got that adaptability with that. On the old system, you have the ability to plug in a tray holder to the front of the box, and that's been improved on with the new Octbox system. We've now got a second tray that can plug in to the side tray base that attaches to the box, and a third pivoting unit which can attach underneath that tray. So if you wanted all three in use, you've got loads of storage space, a small compartment for hook length boxes, a bigger area that will take one of the trays, and of course 2 good sized side trays to take all your bait boxes and everything else you want. Onto that as well, you can attach the sunscreen or windshield or rain stopper or whatever you want it to be. This piece here that covers up your bait, keeps it out of the sun or keeps it dry if the weather's bad. Another thing I really like about this new Octbox system is the new pole roost. Now what's changed about this is the new pivoting pin system. So basically you can set this at any height, it locks in with a pin, and then it's going absolutely nowhere. And if you use the adapters, it can take top 3 kits or top 4 or top 5 kits. Other key improvements in terms of adaptability is the keep net adapters, which can now be fitted on to the front extending frame, and that'll allow you to put several nets in a commercial fishing situation. I mean, you can almost do this limitlessly anyway on the old system, in that the way I used to get around it would be to have bars coming off the front legs. You can have as many of them as you want with different nets attached to them, but now there's a couple of little posts that go on the actual front extending bar, and they allow you to put nets straight off the footplate extension, so that's a really nice feature there as well. Another thing I've got to mention when it comes to adaptability is the bump bar. Now this is a really unique system that Octbox have got here. It's a front extending bar that comes out with your bump bar on it. And what that does, it makes your pole easier to control at long lengths, especially in the wind, because the distance between where you're holding the pole or supporting it between your legs and the actual pivot point on the bump bar is increased. And that's just done by plugging the bump bar into the front extension, pulling that out, and that gives you ultimate control and presentation, and to be honest, a real advantage in certain situations. One of the biggest improvements to this most recent Octbox compared to what's gone before it is what a lot of anglers have nicknamed going knobless. And that basically means that 4 of these knobs have been removed from the 4 side holes on the box. And what these were used for previously was adjusting the height of the base module in relation to the actual box itself, the box structure itself, which obviously you attach your barrow and your accessories onto. What Rick at Octbox has done here is he's looked at how the box was being used and realised that once anglers had set themselves up, once they got this box module to the right height in relation to the footplate, for them as an angler, they were hardly ever using or adjusting these settings on the box. So there was no need really for those 4 knobs to be there 99% of the time. So what it's been replaced with is a very clever Allen key system. So inside each of these little sockets you can see here is an Allen key socket. And if you do want to adjust the height of the box module in relation to the rest of the box, all you need to do is give them a tweak with an Allen key, set it to the right height and then tighten them back up. But to be honest, once you've done this when you first receive the box, it's very unlikely you'll have to do it again. Unless of course you sell the box to somebody who's shorter or taller than you. Just a quick point on this, and it's a very, very simple point, but it is something I see a lot of anglers getting wrong, is when you do it, just make sure you are sat with nice flat knees. As when it comes to pole fishing, there's nothing worse than being on your tiptoes like this or straining down if you've got it set too low. Take your time when you get the box to get that part right, because it is important. And you have of course got the advantage of spirit levels on the Seatbox system to tell you you've got things about level. Another change you'll probably notice compared to previous models of the Octbox is the use of these small silver screws as opposed to the clunkier black wing nut type screws that were used on the older Octbox systems. These are easy grip, they look a bit nicer, and being stainless steel, I'd like to think they'd last a little bit longer. Gone is the old grid mesh footplate that was in place, and that's been replaced with a solid aluminium sheet which still stops you from dropping fish through the holes in your footplate, as was the original idea when the mesh was introduced. The advantage of this, it's a lot easier to keep clean. There have also been a couple of spring pins introduced to help the footplate lock into place when you pull it forward, as opposed to the old screw system, which I would also say is a big improvement. One final point to end on. A lot of people ask me whether I would recommend the D36 Octbox as a Seatbox to someone who only fishes commercial fisheries. And my honest answer to that question would be no. In that situation, why not check out the D25 Seatbox? It does a lot less, but for anglers who only fish commercials, it probably offers better value for money. The D36 is the ultimate in Seatbox technology. Its adaptability makes it perfect for anglers like me who do everything, from rivers and canals to commercials to other kinds of fishing that require you to adapt your Seatbox to different kinds of terrain. But if you only fish somewhere with level platforms, even bank, then perhaps the D25 offers more value for money for what you want the Seatbox for. But at the end of the day, that's up to you. Octbox offers a great range of different Seatboxes for different budgets, and it's up to you to pick the one to suit your needs. Thanks for watching.